GenGators Power Systems is the area's leading Kohler standby generator solution, specializing in maintenance, repair, and installation on all major brands, from gas to diesel and 2kW to 2000. Home or commercial, our team has you covered. Our factory-certified technicians and installers are highly trained to provide response and repair when you need it the most. We service what we sell, period. Trust the GenGators, where we sink our teeth in the service.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. All right, welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Martin Falls, and look who's on the set today. My good friend Chuck Bush. He was class of 79. I was class of 78. We were Bowling grade 78. They were Smoke from the Vine 79.
Right on.
I always tease that class about that. Y'all had a good group, though. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing well. Your sister Amy was included in that group.
She was, yeah. She was on the higher end of that class, or what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In every respect.
I got to say that. Amy might watch. We got to make sure.
Yeah,
but anyway,
me, don't hurt me.
Chuck, just to let the audience know for sure, and I'm sure everybody knows, he was one of the actors in Fandango. And then I went a calling on him. He was in Nutriman way back. Of course, he didn't get wealthy and well-known by Nutriman. He got well-known by Fandango. But Kevin Costner movie, and
right.
You still stay in touch with Kevin Costner, huh?
I sure do. I'm very blessed to have been able to call him and Judd Nelson both friends.
Yeah.
As long for over 40 years.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, I know we're here to talk about some different things, but what's this new venture? I'm going to let you give you the floor, but you got a new venture? You got some new energy?
Yeah, I guess you could say new energy. It's going to take some new energy. Earlier this month, end of last month, we signed a deal with a company called Silver Screen Partners, and I put together a little small film company called F3. And F3 stands for Faith, Family, and Freedom. So we're interested in films that deal with those topics. And the purpose for that venture was Silver Screen is a preferred provider of content for Hallmark, Lifetime, and other networks like that. And so they make films for those guys and have been wanting to do their own thing for a while. We've had a stockpile of scripts for that sort of that genre and had the financing to do those. And so we signed an agreement that will help bring our content, Louisiana content, to Hallmark and Lifetime.
Mm-hmm. You've always sort of fell in love with that kind of genre. I mean, besides doing Fandango and Nutriman and different things, you were like that in high school. We could sort of see that you were driven. I know you rolled your eyes a little bit, but you were driven by that side, and you always had a consciousness about doing the right thing and morality and all that. Wow. You were driven by that.
That's very kind of you, Martin. I would like to think that's Louisiana's values. I would like to think that's where I got it, was from being here and growing up in a small town. And in fact, my sincerest hope, is that somebody watching this may have a story that takes place here that I would love to option and try to bring it into what we're doing, because nothing would make me happier than to make a film in our town.
And I know your mama had a big part in that upbringing.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. My mom and my dad both.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
My dad both.
But so how much work goes into this, and how does this start? Because your career, you've sort of been able to tap into where the career is supposed to go. And people watching will go, well, that's obvious, but not everybody can tap in. They don't know when to open a door or close a door. You've been able to do that a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. I have to give credit where credit is due. God has always been my guiding force, and I look for those kinds of opportunities, and have sort of taken the steps to go there. There are several genres that don't require big actors, big name actors, to make them successful. One of those is horror movies. In horror, the genre is the star. Family movies are much the same way. We don't need big stars, even though we've developed relationships with people like Kevin Sorbo, who I can call a friend, that do these kinds of films. But that's really, people in the industry tend to gravitate to those. And then you have films like Facing the Giants that cost $3 million to make and made $50 million at the box office. You know, it's not hard to say that's also a pretty good business paradigm. But I like to say a clear conscience is a soft pillow. And I like to be able to sleep with myself knowing that I'm putting out material that my children could watch, that my parents could watch, because their pride in me is something that I always wanted to have. You know, it was never sort of that dysfunctional, I want mommy to be proud of me, but it's I wanted something my parents could watch and not cringe, and have invite their friends and tell their friends about that and not cringe.
Isn't that funny how that works? And as we get older and we still interested in film works, that it's really paramount that the films are clean,
Yes.
and that children can watch them.
Yes.
That morphing into that takes time. It's called wisdom, isn't it?
Yes. Wisdom. That's exactly right. That's knowledge that comes with experience. You put those together, and you got wisdom.
Yeah. So where do you go from here? You said you're looking for. Are you looking for investors or?
Nope. Everything's paid for.
Got it all done?
All the money's done. We just have to.
Need stories.
At the end of the day, we need quality scripts that we can bring to these networks, because they put up the licensing fee, they put up the money, or they give us agreements that we can then go cash flow at the bank. So, but they demand certain criteria.
Right.
And so we have to pass the scripts in front of them, and they will say, we love the story. We have our Christmas movie in front of them right now, waiting for any day them to say, yeah, let's do it. Christmas movie shot in July and August. What do you think?
What? Yeah.
But they're going to say what directors they will accept, what actresses and actors they will accept, and even get involved in the story and say, well, you know, Act 2 is good, but Act 3 is a little weak. We'd like to see this element or that element. So we're just looking for really scripts that we can bring to them and have them approve or give notes toward getting them approved and shot.
All right. What we'll do, we'll get a little more in depth on the second segment. That way people can send them in if you give them a chance.
I'd love them to. I'd love
All
them
right,
to.
let's do this. We'll take a break. When we come back, Chuck Bush, good friend, dear friend of us here, and we're going to be back and talk more about the new venture with him, so don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. All right, we're back. We're talking with Chuck Bush, the well-known Chuck Bush. You knew him at Vanderbilt Catholic, but he's done so much since he graduated from Vanderbilt, and he's here in Houma. Drove through all that rain to get back to Houma, and we certainly appreciate that. And tell you what, your career has been very diverse, long spanning. You know, a lot of people start off in the film industry, they don't make it. You know, they give up or they get discouraged. Sure. You've sort of just, you know, going through the curves and opened the doors and done different things. But you said you were looking for scripts.
Certainly.
Let's define that a little more. What types, and for people, look, I have people still to this day come in and give me a script. Go, hey, man, can you give this script to somebody? And I'm going, I've been out in the film industry for a while. What are you looking for?
Yeah. Well, you know, what we're looking for, first of all, great stories well told. We look for stories that have value, that are either family values, freedom-oriented values, or even faith-based product. And we're looking for things that are fresh takes. I personally would love, as I mentioned before, would love to do a story in Houma. I would love nothing better than to bring a movie from Lifetime or Hallmark into Houma and shoot here. So Hallmark really looks for romantic comedies. Lifetime looks for things that are women's issues, and you know, which I have ladies that read for me because they don't really make sense to me. But I'm not that audience. I'm not Lifetime Movie Network's audience. So even if it's just sketched out, it doesn't have to be in a proper screenplay format. I have people that can do that. I'm really looking for good stories, family adversity. Overcoming struggles, that kind of thing. Anything redemptifying, if that's a word. I
know some women that are addicted to Hallmark.
There are a few.
I mean, addicted.
There are a few.
I mean, and it's and occasionally I run across it, and I'm looking. It's some of them are dark, some of them a little lighter. But are you looking for any script, or you'll just choose when you get it?
Yeah, any script at all. And I think you have information that you can share with people on where to submit.
Yeah, we'll bring that up right now.
And basically what we'll do is when someone submits to us, we'll send them what's called a submission release that basically says, yes, I own this material, and yes, you have my permission to look at it. And once we have that, we'll give it a review. I have people on staff that will review those ideas and scripts, and we'll choose. But you're right, Hallmark does a wide variety of stuff. Right now, it's Christmas season, Hallmark. They're looking at a bunch of different Christmas things. And the first film we have on our docket is called A Big Easy Christmas, which we're going to shoot in New Orleans. Imagine shooting a Christmas movie in July in New Orleans.
No machines on Bourbon Street.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's the subtitle. That's the subtitle. But, you folks out there who watch Hallmark and watch Lifetime, you know what kind of things you see on there. That's just anything like that. It's fine. If we can just get a basic idea, we can help develop those.
What did you learn along the way that, when you're filming Fandango and doing things of that nature, how did you get from Fandango to Hallmark?
Wow. That's a whole novella in itself. The one thing that's important that, because I teach film, at the community college level from time to time, and at the four-year college level from time to time. And I tell my students all the same thing. Number one, it's all relationships. It's all relational. Look to the person in the classroom to your right and to your left, because those are going to be people you're coming up with. Number two, it's show business, not show art. Don't fall in love with the script so much that you sabotage the ability to make it marketable because you're in love with the art of it. And at the end of the day, I believe, and I'm hoping there's people out there that resonate with this. I believe God created me with a propensity toward this. It's not something I can imagine. When I first started out, you remember the early years, my folks would be like, when are you going to get a real job? And it's like, well, I only know music, movies, or McDonald's. I don't really know how to do anything else. And every once in a while, to keep myself humble, I go like, sir, would you like to get fries with that? It's the best I can do. But it's a passion. It's a sickness. You know it. You do the same thing here, and you've been involved in the film business. You know that stuff. So that's I wish I could really take credit and go, I know how to navigate these things so well, but it's really just prayerfully considering what God has in mind and trying to do that, trying to follow that.
And it's great to see that you keep going and you're looking for new things, because the business has changed so much.
Man,
changed crazily.
Remember when there were only 3 channels on the dial on the TV?
And if you turn the antenna, you could catch the Saints out of Lafayette, Channel 10.
That's right.
But you had to hit it perfectly.
Had to stand on one foot and stick your tongue out.
But it just, I guess I'm married to old-fashioned. Sometimes we have to, like, I have a cell phone and I have to keep it because everybody else has one. But I sure miss those old days.
Yeah, I do. I do too, man. I would probably have a coronary if I went too long without my phone. I just don't know how that happened when we used to just have a phone on the wall, people.
Good party lines.
Yeah, even then. Yeah, my kids would not know what to do with a party line or with a phone or what that looks like.
I miss Daddy screaming from the living room, go back a little bit. And my brother would be in the kitchen relaying for me to turn the antenna. And when I'd go over, he'd go back, stop,
I remember those days. You're right. That big pipe antenna.
Yeah.
To turn, yeah.
And then Dr. Jerry had the first big modern antenna, a big triangle one that rotated through electricity at the top. So we thought he had everything, but
yeah.
And it's good to see you again. Good to see you. Let's bring up that website again. And any scripts, man, get those scripts in, send them here, because you never know. Chuck may pick yours, right?
That's entirely possible. It would be my preference to pick theirs. It really, really would, because I'd love to to bring it here. And, on a film, we spend tens of thousands of dollars on hotel rooms and fuel and ice and catering and everything else. So I'd love to be able to bring that here.
All right. Good to see you again. And keep
Thank
us
you.
posted as we go.
Thank you, Martin.
I'd like to see where it all ends up.
Well, you're always gracious. Thank you for having me.
Chuck
man.
Bush,
It's a
class of 79.
Yes, sir.
I always got to throw that in.
Man, look at us, how we know each other.
All right. We'll see you. And we'll see you once again. Don't go far.